Hello and welcome to the Outcast. I'm your host HC, and with me is.
Wolf.
And today we're back with Enter Title Card here. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've done this joke before, but you're gonna have to. It's
I
Invincibles.
probably have for every season,
Yeah.
but it
Well, but
works.
a week. But I mean, this is the one thing people know about this show. That
This is true.
whenever they say his name for the first time in the episode, you see the title card.
This is true.
So, but with that said, Invincible season 4. Um, so just to catch you guys up about our opinions about the rest of the show, I would consider myself a big fan of the show. Season 1 didn't grab me as much as it did a lot of other people, but seasons 2 and 3 I think were great. Wolf, I think you were kind of in a similar boat to me, if I
Yeah,
remember.
I think. I'm trying to think. I think around the time season one came out, I think I got into it a bit more than you did, but I think it was season two where I said I'm kind of starting to lose it a little bit, simply because I was just getting kind of that superhero fatigue.
Yeah,
And then I
that's
would
a big factor.
say season three got me back into it a bit more, especially with the Invincible War and everything. Because I think that was season three, right?
Yeah, that was season 3.
Yeah,
Yes.
season three definitely got me back into the show a bit more. And yeah, going into season four.
Season 4, so no spoilers yet. This
Mm-hmm.
is one of those things where I say it's a good season, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's the thing. That's like I
Mm.
can say
Fair.
it's good, but there's always something else to it. There are some things about it that kind of drag it down for me from being fantastic. But it's like it's a good season, but
I would
there are
say
issues.
I would say fairly similar actually. That I really enjoyed this season. I think it is a good season, but there's definitely a few things that I'm kind of like, do we really need to do this season? There's other things I would rather have like focused on, right? Like for instance, the war.
Yeah, there are definitely things that maybe weren't necessarily bad ideas, but I could have done with them being a part of another season, or just moments that I think were completely pointless. But
Yeah,
again, the overall stuff in this season is really good, but there are some things you could have done this better.
yeah, that's fair. I would agree.
Well, that being said, I think it's kind of a hard show to talk about without going into spoilers. So,
Yeah.
this is the general. If you want to know our general thoughts about it, we overall think it's good, but there were some things that we think could have been done better.
Mm,
And you know what? It's not
sure.
really a spoiler, but what happened to the animation? It's not terrible, but like the,
We got the
it
one
looked.
impact frame though, HC.
No, no, no. Again, there are moments where the animation is great. There,
Yeah.
you can tell what sequences they wanted to set the animation budget for, but like some parts literally look like there's a PNG that they are not even a PNG, a JPEG image that they are just dragging across the screen. Like, I can do this in Premiere. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're Amazon Prime. You have money.
This is true. You are Amazon. You do have money. Amazon got a little
Uh,
cheap, but yeah, I agree. There are definitely some parts where the animation kind of, compared to previous seasons, takes a bit of a nosedive. But as said, there are also parts where you can see, okay, they kept the animation budget for this bit, and they wanted to make sure this bit was done well. Cough,
yeah,
cough. The
and
impact frame. Cough, cough.
so, you know what? Let's just move into spoilers right here because I think the best way to talk about the animation, two scenes that one was funny, but it's also for like spoilers from this point on for Invincible season
Spoilers,
4.
spoilers.
3, 2, 1. Still here? Okay, so the first part was when it's kind of funny though, where I think it's in the second episode where no one has to sleep on the couch and hears, you know, I can't believe I forgot the character's name. What's
Oh,
man?
um,
Seth Rogen's character. What is the
yeah, fuck, I can't remember.
why did this name? Why does his name escape me now?
Alan, Alan, Alan,
Alan,
Alan.
yes. So Nolan is on the couch and hears Alan and his girlfriend having sex in the room, and he's like covering his ears with a pillow, and it's a funny bit, but this is a still image.
And they do it multiple times.
Yeah, they do it multiple times, but it's like every time I say it, it's like, we can tell it's a multiple image. Like you could show that maybe his face twitches, or maybe like his arms are moving a bit or something, but it's just a still image. It's like,
And the one time they do have him move, they fade to black immediately, so you don't really get to see any movement in that scene.
yeah. And the other bit, which is kind of painful because I like this scene a lot, and is when Debbie explodes on Nolan when he shows up at back of the house because listen, I'm not sure if you saw it, but they uploaded Sandra O's recording session for
Mm-hmm.
this scene. She is acting her ass off. If she doesn't get any sort of Emmy or any sort of prize, I am rioting. I am
Mm.
burning the event hall if I have to, because she gives the performance of a lifetime in this session, and the animation doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, that's fair. I haven't seen that recording of her acting like the scene out, but if that's the case, yeah, I would agree. Then the animation, like, because the
Like
animation's
if you
very,
look,
it's fine, but it's not. The emotion she conveys in her voice is definitely not the emotion that the animation conveys all the time, right?
Like if you look up on YouTube Invincible Sandra O session or something like
Mhm.
that, you'll probably find it.
Fair enough.
It's somewhere on the. This is something Amazon does recently. They did with Husband Hotel too, they they upload some of the voice sessions with the animation. It's actually pretty cool.
Mm.
So like Sandra Oh is giving it her all, and it's like I hope she gets all the awards because she deserves them for that scene. But the animation doesn't really do it justice. I'm sorry to say. But regardless of that, actual plot is episode 4 is the one with the hell thing, right? Where
Yes.
Mug is in hell.
Yes.
Apparently this was a cut concept from the comics that the creator really wanted to put out there, and it's like good for them for wanting to do it and managing, but maybe this was cut for a reason.
I liked it, but at the same time, I'm definitely kind of on the board of I I, I don't know. I don't know if you can find a better place to slot this in at, but I kind of wish you would find a better place to slot this in at because for this season, there's other stuff I would rather you have focused on than this, and it feels very disconnected from everything else.
Yeah, it's just like we're here, and it doesn't impact anything. It doesn't really connect to. Maybe it connects to something to Mark killing that one villain in the first episode of the season, but that's got brushed aside.
I mean, yeah, that's the only thing they use it for is kind of going through Mark's psyche a bit
I
more. Yeah. We're in Stranger Things again. HC, I've
no,
drugged you back.
no. Okay, so season 5 is also going to be a letdown. Let's do it.
I mean, technically,
Okay.
Mark's in the underworld, the upside down. It's
I
related.
mean, sure. Let's go with that.
No, but
You know what? If DC and Marvel could work together this year to give us a Spider-Man and Superman comic crossover twice, why not Netflix and Amazon?
this
Let's
is
do
true.
it.
Why not? But yeah,
Because
it's
shit, have you heard about the animated Stranger Things thing? I just saw something about it today. I had like, wait, this is a thing?
yeah. I've heard a bit about it. Apparently, they're doing like a thing to show you
Doing
where
it's
they.
apparently out.
Oh,
That's
it's
what
already
I
out.
held.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know it was already out.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Side
Well,
tangent.
later, not now. Later.
But They use it to cover more of Mark's psyche, especially after you see like the first episode and him killing, you know, the guy who is being controlled by the squids. So and again, we're still kind of seeing Mark struggling with the entire idea of, his idea of justice and morality, right? And where he stands on a lot of things. We're still seeing him struggle with that and figure things out, right? So,
Yeah, because this is something I like because in season three, after the conquest battle, he decides, you know what? If there's no other choice, I'm gonna make that kill. I'm
mhm,
gonna go for it. And it's nice and now after he flipped that switch in his head, it's interesting to see to see how he actually handles other guys there. Like there's just this one person that who transforms into this creature, and he's like, maybe I'm gonna do it again until he sees that it's just a regular dude out under the whole thing.
mhm,
So you do so. This is a thing that's constantly. Like a time bomb of what. When is he going to think this is the right time to kill someone? And I like that it's constantly on his hand. That it's something
mhm.
that you're almost afraid of him,
Yeah,
and when he's going to snap.
yeah.
And but then by the end of the first episode, you get it. You get that moment that's like, there's no other choice. He had to do it, and everyone is looking at him like, damn. Like there's actually the shot of him with a bloody fist, and the Guardians are looking at him, and it's like, damn, that's a money shot. That's a good way to end.
Hmm. I agree. And so, like, for that purpose, that is one thing I really like about episode 4 for this season. And we get more of a Damien Darkside, I believe his name is, right?
Yeah,
We get more of him, which is I think he's a fun character. But I am the episode overall is fine, right? It's one of those things
and
of if I didn't get it, I wouldn't really care, to be honest. Like it's one of those things of if this episode was not a part of this season would still be perfectly fine without it, right?
I would even argue maybe better because, or at
Possibly.
least because to me, this episode doesn't really contribute to anything besides that plot point. And after this episode, the whole idea of should Monk kill, should Monk not kill, is completely forgotten.
I'd say you get it
That's
once more in a later episode, but that's about it.
Yeah, but it's not. It's the Viltrumites. Obviously,
Yes.
he's going to do that.
Yes.
So I don't know. This is something that I
I
felt,
think
and also the other thing, and one of Buck's big things is actually, yeah, when is he going to snap? What is going to break him? And it's actually represented in the title cards because the title card this time you see it, breaking
mhm.
every so often until by the end it's just the open vacuum of space, right? I thought it was a good metaphor to show Monk slowly cracking down. Like when is this point where he's just going to completely lose it? And it doesn't really count.
Well, honestly, I kind of like that bit though because I mean, one, that could be saving it for a next season thing, right? But two, I like it in terms of okay, you're expecting to see Mark break and just lose it, but he doesn't because he's because we've seen the other Invincibles who probably did break down and lose it, and that's what they turned into. And our Mark being one of the if not the only good Invincible is able to hold that together more, right?
That's
Even if
true, but
just barely.
I also feel that if this is the idea, it was again, it's not that the idea, it's that it wasn't built up enough
Mm,
afterwards. It's
that's
just
fair.
we have this one episode that doesn't connect to anything, and then we forget about it.
Again, again, I think you do get a bit more of it in episode 5, but after that, we're in the Viltrumite war basically, and we're dealing with Viltrumites. And I think Mark's learned the lesson right of you don't fuck around with the Viltrumites. It's kill or be killed.
Yeah, well, again, and considering he has another fight with Conquest, then yeah, that's why I said the Viltrumites are another level, but there's a
I'm
difference between a Viltrumite and some random dude who got powers and he doesn't know what to do with them.
yeah, no, that's fair. I I'm kind of getting tired also of the show's gore to a degree.
To
Like,
some parts I get in some parts I get you because it feels like we need it here because this show kind of has a name
yeah,
for that we're not holding back, and at first I didn't really mind like as much as the goal can kind of be like sometimes, but
yeah,
you know what, it was kind of refreshing to see a superhero show that actually shows you goal
this is
because
fair.
like, because again, essentially, this entire show, like there's also a bit of a Marvel thing there, but this is essentially DC for adults, like big adults, because you'll
Yeah,
never see Superman ripping someone's god off, right?
no, no,
So the fact that you have a show which shows you what a Superman-like character could actually do and and how disturbing that could be, it served the purpose.
I think
Now it just feels like it's there because we need to fill in a quota. Sometimes.
I think the darkest DC's ever gotten is like the is like some of their Doomsday movies where like um what's his name? I guess Doomsday's his name,
That's
right?
fine. Doomsday is the guy that kills Superman. Yeah,
No, I'm the guy from the
Dark Side.
Dark Side. Yes, that's who I'm thinking of. I believe. Like I think the movies with him and where he wins, right, are probably some of their darkest ones in what they show, especially for how what they show like happened to some of the heroes and everything,
Yeah,
getting torn
but
apart
they're
and killed.
still.
But even
But you
then,
see,
they still
but it's still not gory. Like you won't
no,
see
it's nothing
someone's.
compared to what you see to Invincible.
Yeah, which probably for the better because but that's a whole ass debate for another time.
Listen,
So when
I
so when
like the
you
Mark and
start,
Conquest fight, but just like
yeah,
it feels like we spent a little bit too long on watching Conquest just pull this man's intestines out. Like,
yeah, and like
like,
also like
like
this
we
is
didn't need
just
it
a
to
bit
last
of
that long.
yeah, and also this is another part I think I'm not sure if I said this in season 3, but I am starting to get sick of all of those fake out deaths in this show because there's this bit where like near the end where you see drag like outright tear Omni-Man's guts out,
Yeah,
right? And then it's like, no, he's okay, he's healed. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And it's like I get it that they heal quickly, but like for fuck's sake, can a person just besides Rex, fuck that guy, I suppose. But it's like, but it can stakes remain stakes in this show, and I'm just like, oh, okay, got his guts ripped out of.
I like how you bring
Just
this
another
up, and
Monday.
this was the season where they, did their after credits thing of we're gonna zoom in on Conquest's grave, zoom in more on Conquest's grave. Oh God, is Conquest still alive? Nothing happens. So I like how you
And then
bring
it
up
just
the
comes
fake.
back.
I like how you bring up the fake out deaths, the break fake out deaths, and they did that shit this season too.
Yeah, because let's say season 3 also already kind of hinted that he's gonna come back. That wasn't a big shock.
Well, yeah, they
It's
showed
more
like
though that,
him, Cecil had him and everything, right? So
but then you keep seeing his grave. You keep seeing the thing, and it's just build, and then suddenly it's in space. It's like, oh, conquest. Okay, I guess you're back. Okay, sure. I guess I don't know. All right. Again, nothing against the fight. The fight is great.
yeah, yeah,
It's just how much can you expect me to see people getting chopped in half and then they're just back to life through some magic? I know maybe that's the joke because it happens in comic books all the time. Speaking, you brought the Doomsday earlier.
yeah.
Uh, the Superman that which started their whole thing of, oh no, we killed this character, yeah, they're gonna come back later. Just give it time.
Yep.
Somebody else is gonna pick up the mantle and then they're gonna come back. Just trust us. So maybe that's the joke, but I think it's funny anymore.
it, it's one of those things of you can do it a few times, but after a certain point, it loses a lot of its meaning and a lot of its, it loses a lot of that luster, right? It loses the ability to be a joke anymore, and it starts to wear on the story more than anything because now you're looking at it as a thing of, well, I can't trust that this character dies. So if this character dies, I don't really care as much because they're probably going to come back, right? It kind of starts to have that influence when you start doing this so much. At least I suppose the
Well,
show does show that, because they do it for, for Mark and Conquest, right? Like it takes Mark a long time to recover. So they are showing like there are
which actually,
stakes, but it's definitely a thing of I agree with you. The only character we've seen fully die so far has been Rex.
which to be honest, I feel sorry for because as much of an asshole as he was getting there, he was becoming better, and
Listen,
he ends up blowing up in order to take down an evil version of the main character.
man went out like a boss. All right,
Yeah, he went out like a boss at least.
he
I'll give him
deserves
that.
all the respect for that. At least he was trying to be better, and he went out like a boss.
That's true. That's very
Respect.
true. Mad respect. So I will say though, with the episode where Mark is out of it and Nolan and Oliver kind of have to bond, I like that episode.
Yeah,
I thought it was a really good episode.
I agree.
And then it kind of hit me that the one episode I really like in the show Invincible didn't have Invincible in it. Like,
I mean, he was
a bit
there
of,
technically.
you know what I mean, though.
I know what you mean, yeah. Which is very funny.
But I have to say, Mark is there, but like there is actually a scene where they set up for the quest in space, and he calls Nolan out for how he treats Oliver. What do you think the O on his What do you think the O on his suit stands for? Let me give you a hint. It's not Oliver. It's like, damn, that's a good line. That's a good fuck you type of line. I like it.
Actually, I'll say I kind of really liked Omni Man in this season. I think they do. I think they're
Yeah,
doing fairly well at showing he is trying, but I also like that he's not being given anything for it. People are still like treating him the way you would expect him to be treated after everything he did, right?
because you can't just come back from what he's done.
No,
You can't. There's no way. You can just be like, I'm sorry, and everyone is going to forgive you. No, and it shows that maybe some people are willing to like forgive, but they need time. Like the guy who makes the suits, he's gonna like, you know what? Just sit with me here. Let's talk. Let's actually have this conversation. Which, by the way, I had no idea that the guy making the suits is Mark Hamill. I
you didn't know
completely
that was
missed
Mark
that.
Hamill.
I completely missed that. I am ashamed to admit it that I
I
missed it,
mean,
but wait
fair
a
enough.
minute.
Like it's not like I understand because it's one of those things of it's Mark Hamill doing not doing a voice that you're like that you would expect to come from him, right?
It's not
So
the Joker voice,
no,
I
it's
guess you
not.
could say. So,
But
but
yeah, even
so
some of the other
then
voices he does like are pretty iconic, and this one's very, I guess I'd say subdued for him, right?
I guess you know something. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I think maybe because that's his real voice and he's not doing any
True.
character, maybe that's why what threw me off because I'm not thinking about it.
I mean, true.
But
How many people have heard Mark Hamill's real voice at this point?
so suddenly I hear it and it's like, oh damn, oh that's Mark Hamill. That cool, okay, nice. It's kind of a shame that it took me so long, but there you go. So anyway, I like what they did with Omni Man, and like and also he's to an extent his redemption doesn't seem rushed. I don't know, in terms of
No, it seems like
his.
we're still working for it. We're still earning it, right? You can tell this is probably going to be something that you might see in season 4, but it's still
But
being earned.
I think you mean season 5. This
Or
is
season
season
5,
4.
yeah, not season 4. Yeah, we'll just get season 4 again.
that people would be so pissed if they actually did it. Like if they uploaded the wrong episodes on Premiere
Oh
Day, it's
man,
like what the fuck is this shit?
would be
Well,
funny though.
anyway, but I think it's not just not only that it's not rushed in terms of people's reaction to it, it's also not rushed from his point of view, like his journey. It feels like it.
Mm,
I believe that he wants to change. I believe that he changed. I believe that he's fighting to be a better person
mm-hmm.
and turning it against his people.
Yeah,
I like that.
agreed. I
Uh,
also
again,
did enjoy in episode 2 where they pick up like Space Racer and the they go and talk to the aliens that Tech Jacket is from. And I love
yes.
how they show Omni Man says, "Hey, I'm sorry for what I did," and both of them, like Space Racer and the alien species that they're talking to, that Tech Jack is from, right? They both of them like have this moment of, "What? Did a Viltrumite just apologize? What the fuck? Holy shit!"
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you
Right
actually
on
are
message.
serious. Never mind, we can talk then, because a Viltrumite of all people just apologized.
Speaking of episode 2, can we talk about those creatures they fight on that one planet that is basically the symbiotes?
Oh
That's
yeah.
that's totally Venom. That's that,
I mean,
which
you're not
I'm
wrong.
not I'm not complaining for the record. I'm just saying if you're trying to be subtle, that's not subtle. That's Venom.
Hmm?
That's a
Fair.
symbiote.
Yeah, it was quite fun to
Which
see them and and fight on that planet, and then see them use them against the Viltrumites as well.
yeah. Which again, I appreciate that it's just there because maybe they were just kind of thinking that people who watch this probably know what the symbiotes are. They know what Venom is. So it's just there to give you like that little wink and a nudge at you, and then it's like, oh, that actually serves a purpose. That's cool.
Yeah.
And I guess this is the point. Before that, what did you think about Zoe,
Zoe.
the little girl with the mech suit?
Yeah, yeah, Tech Jacket. Yeah. I liked her. I think
I
they
I
definitely
guess
didn't focus on her much, simply because she is like a young girl going into a war against the Viltrumites, so like they didn't give her a ton of focus or do much with her, but for the little bit we did get with her, I think she was fun. I think they kind of used her as a little bit more of comic relief than anything else, with Alan especially.
hmm But I like her and Alan together. They have good chemistry.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I would say her and Oliver seem like they would have good chemistry too, but we didn't get as much of that.
Yeah, like they're definitely setting up that they are in a similar age group, so obviously they'll get along. We'll
Yeah,
see. We'll
we'll
see
see.
if it goes anywhere.
Yeah.
But I just because just a funny thing for me when I saw that design, when I saw her design, I'm like, wow, she looks like Zoe from K-pop Demon Hunters.
I
And
can see
then
it.
and then and then I name
I
it,
can
and
see
then
it.
they say her name is Zoe, and I'm like, wait, what? I did such a double take. It's like, oh, she reminds me of Zoe. Wait, her character name is Zoe.
Well, there you go.
I guess it's only funny to me. Anyway, moving on to actual Viltrumite wall. Uh, Trag surprised me
In what way?
in a way that I didn't really, I, d- I just didn't really know what to expect because it's like, oh, we obviously you had Nolan. We know where he's going.
Hmm.
We know everything about him now. Then you have Conquest. We fought him twice. Does this new guy have to give me? Right?
Mm,
What does this guy have to give me in terms of in terms of being a villain?
yeah.
Surprised me entirely. Like for one, he is literally indestructible. They punch him and kick him and he
No.
doesn't even flinch.
Seeing
And
Mark fly up to him, like again, this is the impact frame that I've mentioned here or there,
yes.
right? and just like, all right, I'm gonna hit you in the head as hard as I can. And dude's just like, all right, go for it. Show me what you got. What can you do? I want to see. And you just get that impact frame of him like looking like an utter absolute demon, and dude does not budge or move an inch. And Mark kind of like floats back like, holy shit, I hurt my hand. That hurt.
Yeah. So literally indestructible. And also, I guess kind of jumping the gun a bit with this, his plan at the end is so sadistic. It's
Mm,
and it leaves me very much very excited and also very afraid to see what they're gonna do in season five,
mm.
because this is kind of a scary plan. And I'm not sure. What do you think of it?
I agree with you. I love how like it's very different for a villain, right? Like, because especially even for this show, for some of the villains we've seen thus far, right? That Mark has had to go up against and deal with, right? You get to this guy, and he's like, all right, he could kill everyone here easily enough. I mean, dude takes out Thetis in an instant, like just
Yep.
nothing, like it is just
And
done.
And you also saw what Nolan and Conquest were able to accomplish in their respective fights. So
Hmm.
the fact that this
And then
guy,
you see what he does to Nolan as well.
yeah, so the fact that so this guy, and also when Mark comes back, the first thing he does, he's looking all over the world just to make sure that everyone is fine, to make
Well,
sure
I
everyone's
also
okay.
love that they're showing that Mark has some PTSD from this as well, right? In that, like,
Yes,
this was he just everyone expected to go up against the Viltrumites and it would be a win, and this was not a win. It was
no,
arguably a Pyrrhic victory of, all right, they've took down quite a few Viltrumites and they've mostly destroyed the Empire, but the the most worrisome Viltrumite there is got away, right?
they won the battle, not the war.
Yeah. And
And
then like with all of Mark's worry and everything he's going through, you find out, oh shit, no, they are on Earth. Like that is where they are, and they're not going to destroy Earth. They're just going to have sex.
yeah, I mean, I mean, when your whole world is gone, what else would you do, right? But the one thing I like about this more though is that episode 8 doesn't have a big climax of a fight scene. It's a very calm episode. It's a very
Yeah.
subdued episode. It's more focusing on the aftermath
Hmm.
of the big battle. It's not like there's a big battle part two. No, no, no. The season finale is essentially Mark trying to get over it. It's essentially him trying to come to terms with the fact that he doesn't know when World Track is going to strike or when, but they accomplished something and he needs to kind of take it. And as
Hmm.
soon as he goes out for a flight, he sees Track. And then not only does Track tell him, listen, I am not going to destroy you or your family. We are just going to be here in your world, and you are not going to and I also like that he tells Mark, you are the proof that we can reproduce with your kind, and the kids will have our powers. So we know our plan is gonna work. So not only does now Mark have to live with this threat, but he also that in a way this threat exists because of him. He was the catalyst for this kind for this thing.
Well, it also exists on top of that too, right? Because they destroyed Viltrum, right? Like him, Omni Man, and Thetis destroyed Viltrum entirely.
Yeah.
And so, and it's again like I love the sinisterness behind it because you know for a fact the Viltrumites are not the type of people who are going to, especially Thrag of all people. You know he's never gonna like. This is never going to last. This is going to last long enough for them to get what they want out of it, and then from there, right? It, something's going to happen with that, right? The Viltrumites are going to attack the Earth or destroy it, even, or do anything else, right? Like this isn't something that Mark can just live with forever. Something's going to have to happen.
But the question is, though, what is going to happen?
Yeah, and when
Because,
too, right?
and when as well, because I just thought about it, it took Mark 17 years to get his powers.
Hmm.
And during those 17 years, Nolan got attached to him. There's a reason he couldn't kill him in the season one finale,
This is
right?
also true. Is this going to happen to the other Viltrumites? Are they going to get
So,
attached?
yeah, are they going to get attached not just to the kid, but also the person they're with and stuff?
Hmm.
Because this is a commitment. You have to keep up an act for a long ass time,
Hmm.
unless Mark was just a late bloomer. There are a lot of ways in which they can take this, and I'm curious.
Yeah,
Like, how much of an immediate threat is this?
yeah, I agree. It's again, it's such a great way for to end a villain almost. Where all right, well, this villain isn't done. You know they can come back up, and you know it can go a multitude of different ways. But you know they're just here around.
So I really like this finale. This finale made the season worth it, in my opinion. This
Yeah.
was a really good finale, and also a very chilling idea for where this show can go next season because we
Hmm.
know there's a season five.
Yeah.
Now to something that I didn't really like. I don't like how Eve is just a girlfriend now. And that's it.
I I like what there. I agree with you. I want to see Eve doing the superhero thing again, and I think we will get that in season 5 because she's got her powers back. But I do like what they did with her and her having to, go through everything with an abortion by herself because Mark was gone and she had no idea if he was alive or not or when he'd come back. And she didn't want to tell him because he was going off to war against the Viltrumites, right? And they've had that experience with Conquest, so they know. So she's aware at the very least that she doesn't want Mark worried about other things because he don't need that. But then
And,
I also love that Mark's like super supportive of that. It's like, hey, you had to go through this, and I hate that you had to go through that alone, right? Again, that's one of the
yeah,
greatest things about
the
Mark's
con-
character that I love.
yeah, I have to say, I like the conversations they have. The
Yes,
talks they have are good. I like that. The thing is, though, that this is basically all she is now.
yes,
It's
I
not
agree.
she doesn't have any other friends.
Hmm.
There's no like her arc this time again relates to Mark because he got her pregnant and she has to be that. Not to say that it can be an interesting arc. It is, and I like how they handle it. But she's just a girlfriend now.
Yes, I agree with you. I
That's
would like to see her get a bit more on her own and have more of an arc that's separated from Mark to some degree. Again, not saying that you can't have them together because they are, in a relationship. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But I do agree with you. She's become a bit of a backseat to Mark and his development more so than her own, which is what she was doing before, right? In previous
which is
seasons.
kind of funny because have you seen those previews that I have for seasons now, which is Mark talking to one of his friends in a diner
Yeah.
where they reveal the release date for the seasons.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen them.
So so the promo for this season was him talking to Eve, and Eve is giving him a lot of shit in that promo. If you remember,
Mm.
she's almost sassy to him in terms of how much he's not holding a candle to her. And then you actually get to the season, and what does she do exactly besides being impacted by him?
Uh, she fights the Lightning Lady.
Yay, and her powers malfunction because Mark got her knocked up. That's sure, sure. And again, there's nothing wrong with the subplot itself. They handle it well.
Yeah, I agree. They
And
handle it
even
well.
different, and I also know I also like I've heard through the grapevine that it was something in the comics, so I
Mm.
understand why it's here.
Hmm.
I'm just saying, why is this the only thing that she has? She was a character before she started dating Mark. She can remain a character after. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with you. I would like to get some more from Eve again. I hope that's just a this season thing, and we'll get more from her in the next season, right? But
Especially now with everything, and with everything here, there's also the question of some. I just thought about this right now as we're talking about it. Essentially, Mark, Mark's kid would be half a Viltrumite, right? And
a
who
quarter, I
knows
think,
if
not half, because Mark's technically
the point
half.
is,
So
yeah, but you get what I mean. He
I
might
know
have
I'm
some.
giving you a hard time.
The kid might be a bit Viltrumite, and if with Eve's powers, he might as well be a whole Viltrumite. I'm not
This is
sure how
true.
this works,
A
but
Viltrumite with Eve's powers potentially is crazy. Even if they're not full Viltrumite, is still crazy.
so now here's the question: are we sure that an abortion can kill something like this?
I feel like they're gonna go with yeah, the abortion got rid of that because like I don't know, it feels very weird to do anything different with that personally, right? In my opinion, I could be wrong. Maybe people want that kind of story, but I don't. I think we're fine without that one.
No, I'm just thinking though, because
No, I
if
get what you mean. I understand. Like I'm not saying
because
it's wrong. You're not bad. No,
because considering the Viltrumite's plan right
it's
now
not bad.
is to essentially reproduce
Yeah,
with humans.
yeah.
Now comes the question of what happens if a Viltrumite can if a woman that got pregnant from a Viltrumite, what happens there? Can she just abort, or like, and not necessarily that they're going to have a line to abort all of them, right? But like, let's assume one of the Viltrumite has sex with some lady, gets her knocked up, but then the lady falls on her stomach by accident. Can that hurt the baby?
I don't think this
There,
is. I think you're getting too
I
into
think
the weeds.
I am probably overthinking it. There's a very good chance that I am overthinking
But
things, but
it's fair. It's a fair question though.
considering the context they're going with, the threat that they're going to face, these are probably questions that maybe they thought about themselves. Because how exactly does it work?
I'm sure in like the lore Bible for Invincible that they have for writing and everything, they've probably thought about and answered this question. But I doubt it's
Well,
something we're going to see come up in the show, right? In my opinion, I could
I
be
should
wrong,
say,
but
I should say, I am not reading ahead in the comics. If I hear about
yeah,
something
I have
that
no clue
happened,
either.
then it's through a grapevine or something. Maybe I
Yeah,
saw a post somewhere. Maybe somebody told me, or maybe just I read a spoiler by accident. But here's some. On the off chance you're listening to this and you want to leave a comment, there's something I want. Am I overthinking it, or does the comic actually acknowledge some of the things I talked about? I'm curious if they thought about this thing.
fair
What does
enough.
what's the Invincible law say about this?
Yeah, give us a shout. Let us know. Get in the comments. Tell us. Does abortion kill a Viltrum kid?
You
Fucking
know,
hell.
something. I keep talking. I'm googling this shit.
Oh
I'm
no,
going to
no, no,
Google.
no,
Let's.
no! Don't do it. No, no, not live. uh,
Well, guess I'm not doing it.
listen, we'll let the
Guess I'm not doing it
commenters let you know.
now.
You can't do it. Not live. No,
Okay.
we don't need to know
So
that badly.
So if somebody knows, let us know. I'm just very curious about this.
What a
Well,
wild
anyway,
question.
yeah, that's and you know what's funny? If somebody actually Googled that, like I'm sure somebody did. Fan fiction writers probably looked.
Possibly.
Well, other than that, is there anything else you want to say about this
Uh,
season?
um, I would say no. I think we've covered most everything. Again, it's like we said, it's a very fun and enjoyable season for the most part. There's a few things about it that aren't perfect, and hopefully, the next season fixes that, like Eve, like we said, not getting as much of a character. And I will say this: I think we are starting to get a bit of cast bloat to some degree, and I think it would be nice to hopefully next season kind of pares that down a bit more, and we're a little bit more focused on
Yeah,
specific characters that I think need, like Mark, Eve, and Nolan, right? Maybe Oliver and Debbie, and that's kind of it. I don't think I need a ton of these other characters that we saw come up. To be honest,
mm, yeah,
I guess it depends on how they do it, but yeah, I think we're definitely starting to get into that a little bit of that cast bloat, which can happen with these kind of shows and comics in general, right? And I think we need that kind of season to pare everything down and refocus again, right? So I think that's something I would kind of want from season 5 is to pare it down a little bit and let's focus in on some of our main cast for a bit of season 5 at the very least and get things back on track. And then
mhm,
dive into whatever is next for Mark and Invincible.
yeah. Well, obviously, when we talk about this, we kind of need to talk about what we think season five holds in store for us. Obviously, the Viltrumite plot is going
Yes.
to is gonna be a because let's say obviously Mark is going to discuss this with Cecil. I think maybe he does. It's been a while since I've seen the finale, so I think he does, but I'm not entirely sure.
He doesn't say anything in the finale at the very least, but maybe next season he will. It's hard to say. But we
Yeah.
also know that
Well,
Alan and the coalition is looking for the Viltrumites too, and they have that new and improved virus that might even kill all of the humans as well as the Viltrumites. So I'm sure that's going to come back up eventually. Like that's Chekhov's
oh,
gun right there.
it's totally going to come back because they're not going to set us up and then
No,
show us that the Viltrumites are going to reproduce with humans if this is not going to come into play. If it
yeah,
is, then it's the most wasted Chekhov's gun in the history of wasted Chekhov's
this
guns.
is true. Yeah. So yeah, like I'm sure that'll
Mm,
come back up and everything with the Viltrumites, right? So it'll be interesting to see where that goes and what they do with that.
yes. So that's interesting. Two, I'm also, I don't know what to think about how because Debbie is going to visit Oliver, who is healing with Nolan. So I'm not sure if they're trying to build up that they're going to try and rekindle something because I don't think it's a good thing to do. Like Nolan is trying his best, and you know what to go him for trying, but I don't think I can buy Debbie getting back together with him. I
It depends
can't
on
see
how they
that
do it.
possible.
They need to be really careful with how they do it, and they need to really make sure they take their time with it, right?
If this is the plan, then I'm kind of worried.
That's
But
fair.
who knows?
That's fair.
Maybe they can change my mind on this. I'm not sure, but right now I say nay.
That's fair.
But surprise me, showrunners. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
Maybe.
if they put if they put in the work and I'm enjoying it, then hey, let's go for it. But I think it's definitely one of those things of I think there's a lot of work they need to put in to make that work. Otherwise, it's not going to feel good.
And I say again and again, stakes. Because you can't have all of this go
No.
and then have characters just walk it out.
Yeah.
It's getting ridiculous by this point.
Listen, you just need to start seeing the Viltrumites as the Super Saiyans that they are, right? They're just the Saiyans. They get cut in half. Sew them back together. They'll be fine.
But even then, there's a whole process they need to go to in order to get back to life. Like they go through training, if I remember correctly, and before they get back to life or some shit.
Uh,
Here, nah, give us a week, we're better.
in later Dragon Ball, you'd be surprised. I feel
Again, I keep in mind as
you've
someone
not
who
seen it.
is
I
like
know.
as someone who has that very hard take that doesn't really care for Dragon Ball all that much,
That's fair.
I am going by what I remember from Dragon Ball Z. If
Yeah, that's
something
fair.
changed, then my friends didn't tell me about it, ergo I didn't know.
That's fair. Very fair.
on that note, I guess just kind of a joke that I have to that I've been holding on to and might as well get it out. Give Mark a female cousin who is better than him at anything. Anything else?
I wonder what that's a reference to.
If you don't know, if you don't know, then educate yourself on comic book law or something. I don't know. No, I think you obviously know what it is. If you know me,
Mm-hmm.
you know what it is. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, but jokes aside, I just want to see where the show keeps developing. I'm obvious.
Mm-hmm.
If I've watched 4 seasons, I'm
Agreed.
obviously in it for the long game. So I'll watch season 5, obviously.
Yeah, like I mean, so far, it's been a little up and down here or there, but so far they've managed to put out 4 good seasons that are fun and enjoyable to watch, right? They may not be perfect, but they're still fun, enjoyable, and overall, I would say good. So I hope
Yeah.
if they can continue to do that at the very least, I'm here for the long haul. I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm
Though
fine with sticking
something
around.
that I just figured something out. I am going to Google this just to
Oh
be
no.
sure about it. This is literally the first. Okay. Oh, okay. So, no, I was about to say, I wonder if season 5 is going to be the last one, but then apparently the show is expected to run for 7 to 9 seasons
Mm.
because they want to cover all issues of the comics.
Okay.
So, and the creator of the comic believe that it's going to take 7 to 9 seasons. So, season 5 is not going to be the last
I
one.
mean, if it takes them 7 seasons at the very least, then we're getting close to the end potentially.
But if they are getting into 9, then they were not even halfway through, and God help us.
Well, I would say we've reached the halfway point, kind of, technically. Like the start of season 5 will basically be the halfway point, right? So we're close, but
Yeah,
it's
well,
still a long
we
ways to
should
go, depending on how many years it takes them to do this. Because how long was it between season 3 and season 4 of Invincible?
not too long, as far as I remember. Let's see. Hold on. Invincible season 3. So season 3 was February of 2025. So
Okay.
around a year,
Yeah,
a year and a bit.
yeah, not that long actually, for the most part.
Yeah, which is also why I think somebody actually brought this up. We talked about the animation. That apparently the reason that the animation doesn't look as good now is because that's their way of getting the seasons out faster. And considering
Mm.
if they do want to get to season 7 and 9, then I guess they do want to kind of have them out faster. So in this case, you know what?
I
I
guess that's a good question to kind of end on. How do you like that, or would you rather them take a bit longer so we could get better animation? Because I'm kind of in the field of I'm fine if you take a if it's like a 2 or even 3 year gap between seasons. I think you could. I would rather see better animation than see the quality deteriorate any further. Oh, well, audience, HC has died. Hello,
Yeah. Okay. What happened there?
Discord died.
Oh, God
I
damn.
don't know what
Well,
happened.
so
So we'll
what's the
just
last thing they recorded? What was the last thing the recording had me say then?
nothing. I was still talking.
Oh, well, I just said that I said something about somebody brought us up that the reason that the animation is getting a
Yeah,
bit,
we heard that bit. We heard
messed
that
up.
bit. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So you know what? If this is kind of if we have to live with this trade off, then you know what? I kind of get it, and I'm willing to forgive that the animation isn't as handsome. Let's go with that as
I
it
don't.
was
I
at
know.
the
I
start.
I would personally rather see seasons take 2 years to get out if that means somewhat better quality in animation. Personally, but I'm not gonna like. I'm not someone who's hard on animation and looking for the best quality at all times. Right? It doesn't matter to me as much, but I would rather if it's going to take a quality dip. I would rather you take an extra year to make sure it doesn't take that quality dip personally, if that's what you need to do, right? But it's not
Well,
my decision to make.
on that note, considering they probably do want to get this out, right?
Hmm.
I suppose if this is the trade-off, I can live with that.
That's fair. That is fair.
So, anything else to say about season 4 before we wrap up?
Go watch it if you have not.
And if you haven't, then why the hell did you listen to the spoilers? Again, what is wrong with you?
There's some
So,
things we didn't spoil, I think, that you'll enjoy. But
probably. Well, anyway, this was
anyway,
all for this episode of the Outcast. We hope you enjoyed it. What did you think about Invincible season 4? What are you excited about for season 5 and the future of the show? You can tell us all about it in the comment section below, on our Twitter, which is Berkcast with a capital B, capital C, and on our Tumblr, which is Berkcasting. So until the next episode, I was HC,
I was Wolf.
and we will see you all next time. Take care.
Bye bye.